Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast. I am your host, Jan Washington. This is a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. I would like to extend my gratitude in you listening to this podcast. It means everything to me, and I hope it is clear that this subject matter is so important to me. I care about our people, our future, and making a positive change in this nation. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast. This episode is especially for the Content Creators of Color Challenge, and I want to talk about a case that did not get the attention it deserved. It is about Kendrick Johnson out of Valdosta, Georgia. And there has been a documentary made earlier this year that's released on Amazon right now that you can obtain. And I got the opportunity to check it out. And so I encourage you guys to do the same. But the incident occurred on January 11, 2013. Kendrick Johnson was discovered rolled up in a mat in the gymnasium of Lowndes High School in Valdosta, Georgia, where he was a student. After the preliminary investigation and autopsy concluded that his death was accidental, his family had a private investigation and second autopsy completed, and that concluded that he died from blunt force trauma. On October 31st, 2013, the U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of Georgia announced that the office would open a formal review into his death, and then later it was determined that they would not be filing any charges in 2016. The family did file a lawsuit later, and then now the latest update in the case is as of March 2021, the case has been officially reopened, and the documentary basically breaks down the timeline, how it got started, of them really pushing the issue with the county and raising the question that, this isn't an accidental death. One of the shocking things that you find out in this documentary, and this has been in the coverage that you hear about this story, is that and I guess this is discovered when they do the second autopsy, when they exhume the body, when it was processed the first time, from the time that it went through, I guess, the city and the funeral home, the organs had been removed and stuffed with newspapers. And so when they looked into the matter, the funeral home that processed the body following the city autopsy stated they never received his internal organs from the coroner, and the organs were said to have been destroyed through natural process and discarded by the prosecutor before the body was sent back to Valdosta, according to the funeral home owner. And so the funeral home stated that it is a standard practice to fill a void, and cotton or sawdust may be employed for this process, and so that's why they use the newspaper. And then, when they looked to it further, they did state that this was not the best practice, but they were cleared of any wrongdoing. The family did file a lawsuit against that funeral home later, but that just seems like not protocol at all to stuff a body with newspaper. I mean, that is definitely very odd. The documentary also outlines the long history of racism in and surrounding Valdosta, Georgia, and it talks about how the town is named after a slave owner's plantation. So there's just a lot of racism in Georgia, as we know, and you see the fight that the family has to deal with to, raise the question of not accepting that this was an accident. You see all of the things they have to go through, and you just feel for this family, and it is disheartening, but it is very interesting to see. I would caution and warn you that the film is very graphic in some of the images that it shows. It shows a lot of images of the deceased Kendrick Johnson's body. And so I would definitely caution and warn someone before viewing the film due to the graphic nature. And so, like I mentioned earlier, the case was reopened in March of 2021 here, and so they haven't made any determinations so far. So we will see if it is over with or what becomes of that matter. This film was released in August of 2021, so it's fairly new, and you can catch the film on Amazon Prime. It is called Finding Kendrick Johnson. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Take care.